It is an interesting one. Growth and self-reflection.
So, Save Wisdom's Thousand Questions, section three, I think we're on, or four. I don't even know now. One, two, three, four. We're on four.
Wow.
um, and the section is growth and self reflection.
Okay. Well, I think the first one, if I may start there,
Yeah.
your favorite book and why did it speak to you? Out of all the books that I read, I still believe the one that I got the most value from is Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life.
Okay, interesting. Because you had randomly selected this one when we spoke right in the beginning, and you said Ricardo Semler.
Correct, correct. Now,
So you've been thinking about it.
actually not. I when I came to sit down here and open the questions, I obviously saw the question, and I was thinking to myself, well, is it 12 Rules for Life? Is it Ricardo Semler? So at different times of my life, um, and look, Ricardo Semler made a huge impact on me for sure in terms of a lot of things, but in a growth and self-reflection point, I have to give it to Jordan Peterson and 12 Rules for Life. It's so practical.
There's
I
another
still
one that I
refer
haven't
back
read.
to it. Yes.
So I said I was going to put Ricardo Semler on my list, and now I'm going to put that one too. Because I always think if
Have you
something is a life changing book for someone, that it's a must read.
have you not read
I've
12 Rules
been
for
through the
Life?
rules, but I haven't actually read the book. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
um,
Wow.
that's going to go on my list. I also just ordered, speaking of books, Free Will. It's been in my Amazon cart for months and months and months since we last spoke about freedom and all of that. And
Yeah.
I decided I'm just going to buy it. It was about £5, so I just put it in my cart for my next order. So that's coming next week, and I'll give that a read. I'm curious about Sam
Okay.
Harris's thoughts on free will.
Yeah, fantastic. I'd obviously like to hear
Yeah.
your thoughts on that and your opinions. It's yeah. Uh, I don't think I have capacity at the moment to listen to Sam Harris too much.
So I
Uh,
did also put in my card because it came up as a suggestion. It's someone's counter argument for Sam Harris's free will. I can't remember what it was called, but it's something about Sam Harris's free will. Something.
sucks.
Yeah, it was something to that effect. So I've got that. I've got both. So I'm gonna read
Okay.
Sam Harris's
Oh,
one and then read
nice.
that one and get an idea of where they maybe think that he hasn't hit the mark.
Okay.
Um, but off
Okay.
topic.
Very nice. Yeah.
So
No, so what book would you kind of put in there as your favorite, and
favorite book.
why did it speak to you?
Well,
I think in this context of growth and
yes, so I was going to
self-reflection.
say in this context. So probably when I think about favorite book, I think of something like an Oscar Wilde Picture of
Yeah,
Dorian Gray or something like that. But
yeah, yeah.
um,
Well, that's not a bad one.
yeah, I need to read
It's
it
not a
again.
bad
Actually, it's on
one.
my bookshelf, and I've been planning to give it a reread because I've only read it once, and it was many years ago. But I
Yeah.
remember feeling like it was brilliant, and I loved it. So keen to
Mm.
read that one again. Um, in this context, growth and self reflection. I like and I quote it a lot, especially in job interviews or anything related to work, is the five dysfunctions of a team.
Okay.
Um, I feel like
Yeah.
that had a big impact on me just in terms of work context and how you work with people.
Hmm.
Um, and then I know it's recency bias, and I read it earlier in the year. I mean, earlier in last year, was one that you suggested, which is Atlas Shrugged. Which again, it's
Mm.
a fiction, But as we've said a few times, a lot of the themes are really connected to reality. And even though it's quite an old book, set in like I can't remember what it was, when they started building railroads and things like
Yeah,
that. So it's set in the past, but it's very relevant for today as
yeah.
well. So
It's probably the 30s, the 20s or the 30s, maybe around there. Um, I don't think it was the 50s. But anyway, 100% correct. It is so relevant. Um, just read some of the quotes, or some of the passages from it the other day, and it is so applicable to what we're going through at the moment.
yeah.
It's interesting. Books do have a, a really long-lasting effect on you. So some books,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, I would
quite nice.
say
I mean,
Atomic Habits as well. I mean, obviously, I'd already started forming habits when I read it, but it reinforced a lot of what I was trying to build into my life, and I've kept up those habits. Again, speaking of, have you downloaded the Atoms app?
I did, and then immediately deleted it.
Yeah.
Um, and I'll tell you the reason why I did that is look, it's a phenomenal book, and I really like. I never read the book, but I've been following James Clear, and I get his weekly
Mm-hmm.
email, and I find a lot of value out of his three little things every week.
Yeah.
Um, I downloaded the app because I know the person that he's in partnership with, um, from other podcasts. A guy by the name of Andrew Wilkinson, who's also made a lot of money, um, and a really interesting character and so on. So I downloaded the app, and then what I didn't like is the fact that they kind of lure you in a little bit and then want your credit card
Oh, I
details,
haven't got there
and
yet.
then so, and that's why I deleted it immediately.
Okay.
It's like, okay, look, it's not the something that I feel that I need help with.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a simple little app that I've been using for many, many years, and there are certain things that I log every day.
Mm-hmm.
It's I never forget a day. Um, in terms of certain disciplines and so on, I don't really have that challenge.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I didn't like the way that it was.
Okay.
You
Well,
kind of
I've obviously still got the pro version trial. I've only had it for a
okay,
week. I don't know how long it gives you,
yeah,
but I haven't been blocked on anything yet. But I've just used it for like my little habits because I've let some of
okay,
my daily habits fall a little bit. So I'm just reinforcing it now. The
okay,
reading a chapter a day. I'm on day 7. Going for a 30-minute walk a day. I'm on day 7 today. Journaling. So I'm just bringing back in the things that I was doing every day anyway, with a few breaks in between. But this is
sure,
encouraging me to keep it up for now.
okay.
Yeah.
So, what do you think? Do you think it's the fact that it is the app and it reminds you, or do you think it is merely the act of ticking them off?
Yeah, there's something about the achieving, holding the little thing in the circle becomes colorful. Um, it's just like I know that I need to go for a walk every day, and I know that it's good for my mental health and it's good for physical health and everything. Um, but other things can get in the way. Like I didn't have time this morning. Now I know I'm gonna have
Hmm.
to go after work, and that just helps me not to come up with another excuse because I go, oh, but then I'm gonna feel silly because I didn't mark it off and I've been doing so well.
Yeah,
So it's just an extra
but
check.
the good old calendar on the
Yeah,
fridge and with the
yeah,
X's would have worked in a similar fashion.
yes,
Okay,
yes,
okay,
definitely. I don't need the app.
okay.
It's just writing it in my diary has the same effect at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But I've not been journaling as much as I should recently, so I don't have my diary open.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just getting back on track. I don't. I mean, it's not difficult to do, but
Mm.
sometimes I just need a little bit of help, a boost.
Yeah, and I didn't investigate enough, but I wonder if you can set up common goals with like a friend or
Yes.
spouse
Yeah,
or
you
something
can.
like
The
that, with
accountability
kids and
partner.
that sort of thing. Okay.
Yeah, they've got that in the app.
Yeah,
So you
I
invite
know.
someone
Yeah.
to. I thought of inviting you actually, but
Okay.
I didn't.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Because I know for some people that is a big thing, is they need that accountability partner in terms of, if I don't have somebody to go to gym with me, then it's easy for
Yeah.
me to flake out and that sort of thing. Okay, cool. Well, I hope they do well um, with the app,
I'll
and I
see
hope
how
it
I feel
continues
when
to
they
help.
start asking for my credit card details.
That book still sells millions and
Yeah.
millions and millions of copies, which is like a once in a generation type phenomenon, I think.
Yeah.
That a book, a self-help, or any book
Mm-hmm.
for that matter, I think just stays on that bestseller list or uh, for, I don't know, what is it now, more than 5 years?
More than that, I think.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
cool. What is the next question you want to tackle? Yeah.
Um, we kind of touched on what positive habits have improved your
What
life.
positive habits? Yeah, yeah.
uh, gosh, I don't know. The second one, just because it jumped out at me, what is the most adventurous thing you've ever done? Um, Probably for me, moving my life across the world.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, that is quite an adventurous thing to do. It's a very safe, adventurous thing that you did. Is um, yeah. Look, there's a number of things that I can say. I mean, obviously, also moving myself and my family to a new country was quite an experience.
Mm-hmm.
And the kids may not have appreciated it as much at the time, but later on, they really appreciated the opportunity that they had. So it wasn't just for myself. If I think personally, I think things like doing a motorcycle trip, of 1,600 kilometers in 24 hours. It's,
Sounds
it's
pretty adventurous.
it was pretty adventurous. There was nothing crazy in terms of exceeding speed limits and doing ridiculous things. It's um, it's about starting and keep going, um, and doing the right thing. So we rode as a group,
Mm-hmm.
formed our own little group. I mean, in total there were, I don't know, it's in excess of 100 guys doing this, but we kind of made a small little pack with friends, and we planned this before the time. We knew exactly where we were going to stop for fuel. Um, Kind of planned how long these fuel stops were going to be, um, because that time adds up, and with
Yeah.
obviously with a motorcycle you have to stop quite often. And then just kind of, the things that you have to do to make sure you don't get tired and that sort of thing. Um, so yeah, no, that was quite an adventurous thing. Uh, Good heavens, yeah, driving on the most horrific roads through Lesotho um, was very adventurous.
Was that recent
Um,
on your trip with your daughter and granddaughter, or
no,
before?
no,
Okay.
no, that was a couple of years ago. That was I don't know, the better part of maybe 8 years ago or so. Um, that we, just in terms of the most horrific roads. some of it was planned and some of it wasn't was well, the route that we took was planned, but we didn't know. We were told that the roads were in much better condition. So anyway, it is quite adventurous to do something like that. Uh, some of the more tame ones, visiting the ice hotel, that was
Mm-hmm.
quite an adventure. Um, yeah, so I've been fortunate.
Yeah.
I've
Lots of
had quite a
adventure.
few of those type of things. Yes, yeah.
Okay, you pick a
Okay.
question.
Hmm. Or I bet you are hoping that I pick number 40.
I actually just saw that one and I was thinking about it because I did do my gratitude journal this morning and
Uh-huh.
I didn't. Did I say getting a new car? No, I didn't. But things around getting a new car. So the because I have three things every day I'm grateful for. The first one was that it's not raining today. So you
Okay.
had said about hoping for good weather when you go collect your
Yeah.
car. So wasn't raining, so I was grateful for that. The second one was that I was grateful and also proud that I've managed to build up a good enough credit record in less than 2 years that I could get finance on a car.
Yeah.
So it was that. And the third one was I was grateful for the Mini for keeping going for the year and a half that I've been driving it and for getting me to where I needed to go and setting me up for the next adventure. So they were all car related, but I didn't
Oh
actually say
wow.
I'm grateful for my new car.
Okay. Well, wishing you thousands and thousands of happy and safe miles in your new
Thank you.
car.
It was crazy getting into the car and there were only 10 miles on the. It had
Wow.
done 10 miles when I got into it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on a more serious note, how do you handle anger and what have you learned about its role in your life?
Um, I tend not to get angry. Angry feels like a really strong emotion to me, and I don't feel like I get very angry or I ever have gotten very angry. Um, I think I get frustrated, and my frustration often leads to an emotional outburst, so crying or something like that. But I don't. I don't really know what anger, like what rage feels like. I feel like I've learned how to deal with other people's anger, but I don't know that I have my own.
Hmm, that's interesting. I
Are you going to call bullshit on me?
I I was about to call bullshit on you, but but then I thought because I was just going to call bullshit on you because I think everybody gets angry.
Mm.
Is do you allow yourself, or have you been programmed to think that you are not allowed to get angry, and therefore uh, you rather call it frustrated? Um,
I do tend to get frustrated fairly frequently. Peeved.
yeah, correct. Peeved is the milder form,
No, I don't know.
I think.
I've, you hear people talking about feeling angry or feeling rage, and I can't empathize with that because I don't know that I've ever felt that.
Okay, can I just say that I think there's quite a big difference between anger and rage.
Yeah. Okay.
So for me, being angry, so what are one of the um, well-known benefits of anger um, is that when you're angry, you release adrenaline.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and adrenaline kind of makes you alert, awake. Um, Obviously, because you're in a state of fight and kind of knowing what's going on. So it energizes you.
Yeah.
So I think it's about the how do you harness that to your benefit. Um, so in other words, not allow your don't allow your anger to turn into rage,
Yeah.
because rage, in my opinion, uh, and I don't know if I have the definitions of the words correct here, but rage, in my opinion, is where your anger has turned into something that has made you absolutely stupid.
Yeah, it's like
And
uncontrolled anger, I suppose. Yeah.
correct,
Yeah.
yes. Um, versus if you are angry and you know how to deal with that, it can actually be a positive emotion.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's something that we must deny ourselves.
Mm.
We do, do you agree that we often see it as a negative
Yeah.
emotion? Yeah, I don't think that's fair. I think it's, I think you must get angry
Yeah.
if if an injustice is done um, to either yourself or anyway. So I think you must allow yourself to be angry. I think you must you must maybe note that down in your diary. Were
I
you
don't
just
know
a
what
little
would make me
peeved?
angry though.
Yeah,
I definitely need to sit with it a while and think about what makes me angry.
yeah. But, yeah, look, you don't want to get angry for nothing.
Mm.
Um, but I definitely think that you should allow yourself to get angry, obviously in the right context and so on. But harness the power in
Yeah.
terms of don't just go to the default behavior of I shouldn't I can't allow myself to get angry
Yeah.
uh, or let that what you called frustration, um, which often ends in tears.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is that about? It is a kind of, I don't know, letting some of that emotion out.
Yeah. So I found maybe it's related but not entirely, I don't know, because how I've viewed anger or frustration as I would call it is as being emotional or having an emotional response. um I don't really get that anymore, so maybe I have learned to handle that emotion. I don't know, but I get the same release or relief from going for a walk by myself in nature, or uh, just being on my own, or I do have ways to handle that feeling, but
Mm.
I'm not sure I can pinpoint what the feeling is.
I think you must find some anger.
What about
Find some
you?
anger.
I'm turning the question around.
I me and anger, we're like, I, I think I've learned over the years to handle anger a lot better.
Mm.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to sit here and lecture you about how to about how to handle it. Um, but in terms of, well, first of all, don't react.
Respond.
Respond. Yes,
Yeah,
respond. Don't
yeah,
react.
very good.
First think about it. Um, don't immediately. But I do allow myself to get angry.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I had a recent example is it's a work related thing. Somebody did not deliver a piece of work and it affected a number of us. And it's an external party. So it's a little bit different, you know. It's not a question of if it was one of our people. It was a question of, hey, what's going on here,
Yeah.
you know. So, but there's this external party, and we are kind of on eggshells. But now it's costing us time and effort, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
And it, but I did allow myself to get angry about it,
Mm-hmm.
and um,
Did you hit send on the email or did you wait until your anger?
I I in this case, it was a WhatsApp message, and it said, "Please, can we have a discussion about this
Okay.
on whatever date?"
Mm-hmm.
And then that was followed a day or two later by a phone call to the senior person, and just having a friendly conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So, in other words, kind of instead of reacting at the spot on the spot,
Mm.
going, "What the hell's going on here?" etc., etc. This is not acceptable, and so on. Is navigated that in a much better way.
Yeah.
But there are things that that anger me, um, that I, kind of like in the realm of out of my control.
Mm-hmm.
Um, So some of the things that we are not allowed to really talk about. Um,
Do you feel like giving any examples?
but yeah.
Yeah.
Stupidity pisses me off, and the fact that we are not allowed to point that out.
Yeah.
How did we, where and how did we go wrong as a species, as society,
Yeah.
as civilizations, to give everybody the same right to select who is in charge of us,
Mm-hmm.
um, without taking into account whether these people can actually tie their shoes or not. Um, anyway, so things like that. I mean,
Yeah.
I get angry about that, but obviously, what am I going to do about that? Where's that outlet? Do I get angry to the point where it negatively affects me? No. In other words, I don't build doesn't build up and kind of like I sit with I don't know, stress levels and
Yeah.
cortisol levels and all of these things and so on. No, not to that point. Um, I'll sit and make notes to myself about that. Will do a bit of research and that, and then eventually I will write something about that. And sometimes that's enough, and I can let it go, or I can figure out a way how to navigate around.
Yeah.
But I do probably allow myself to get angry more than I used to
Okay.
when I wasn't sure how to handle it.
I think maybe one of the things that makes me avoid anger is I was just thinking about it when you were talking about, well, when I brought up sending the email, is there have been a few times that I can think of in my life where I've sent an email
Mm,
feeling those emotions and immediately regretted it, read it back and
yeah,
thought, oh, I've been too harsh. Like, I should probably have phrased this differently. So maybe that's why I avoid anger, because I'm scared of how I act when I'm angry. I don't know.
so I think it's important to type the email
And then save
when
it.
you're really pissed off,
Yeah.
but do not send it.
Yeah.
Leave that email for tomorrow
Yes.
morning and then reread it.
Yeah. So I've actually also done that before, where
Mm.
I've had things I've wanted to say to someone in anger, and I've just written it down in my notes app and said it to myself, um, and never actually said it to whoever it was that was affecting me, but it's helped me to get through whatever that was I was
Mm.
feeling in that moment. So I have done something like that before. So I don't know. Maybe I'm still learning how to handle anger or what anger is.
Yeah, it's not the easiest thing, to come up with a set of rules to navigate around. Uh, and a question here that what mistakes or failures were the best lessons for you in life?
Hmm.
I, I find this quite tough to come up with a um, specific
I think
example.
all of the above.
Yeah, there's like
Right?
a
Yeah. I mean, that's what life is experiencing things and then learning from them. I mean, I don't know.
yeah. I think if you have to kind of in the context of the save wisdom, if you had to kind of impart some wisdom to others,
Mm-hmm.
so that hopefully they don't make the same
Mm.
mistakes or failures. Um, what is the difference between a mistake and a failure?
Well, a mistake is the
Is
action, isn't it? And the failure is the result.
so robbing a bank is a mistake from a moral point of view,
Yeah.
um, but it's only a failure if you get caught. I don't know. I'm trying to figure this.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure this out
Well,
because
a
the
mistake is something you do, isn't it? It's like something. It's That's why I feel like it's an action. It's a choice that you made or something you did when you shouldn't have, or and the failure is, so for me, here's a good example. I think a mistake was me not working hard enough at my first course, and the failure was me dropping out of my first course.
I don't know. I don't know if have you considered that your life would have been completely different?
Yeah, it would have been.
Yeah. So you and I don't think we ever know about these things. Where your life could
Yeah,
have ended
whether
up
it would have
or
been
would have
better
ended
or
up.
worse than where you are now.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So I understand what you mean by that example, but I would kind of say I'm not sure if that is a mistake or a failure. So look, I've had lots of failures. Um, make mistakes probably on a daily basis, but failures in a business sense, definitely failures come from placing too much trust in people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, probably some of the biggest lessons for me is I prefer to trust people and I prefer to do things based on the proverbial handshake.
Mm-hmm.
But I've learned to as much as you want to is not just trust. There's got to
You
be
got to
other measures
contract.
that are put in place.
Mm.
Um, so that's a really important one for me. Um, I don't know. I think it's the question that is often asked. I think in a similar vein is just like, what advice would you give
Yeah.
your younger self and that type of thing. So along the lines of some of those mistakes,
Yeah.
I mean, I've got um, you know start exercising, start lifting weights at a much
Yeah.
younger age.
Invest in
Uh,
Bitcoin much earlier.
Holy crap! did you see what is obviously you saw what is going on.
Yeah.
It's it's going to be interesting to see where that ends. But the typical stuff that you hear, which if we hear that so often, start exercising earlier in your life.
Yeah.
Get serious about nutrition earlier in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Take more responsibility for your own life. Start saving.
Yeah.
We've spoken about that one,
Yeah.
Anyway, so, and the strange thing is that it seems like every generation kind of go through you know, um, the same set of mistakes. And I wonder, is it something that we do on a parenting level that we fail, that the next generation kind of make the same mistakes again?
Mm.
Or I haven't really sat down and given it some thought in terms of why do we. But anyway, so I've made lots of those mistakes. Not taking my health serious enough. When I was, not that I have any health issues now. In fact, I think I am very healthy compared to other people in my age bracket. But I definitely could have started taking care of my health a lot sooner. And
Yeah.
the saving thing, the um, changing the
Compounding.
instant
Yeah.
gratification for the compounding effect and so on, that will enable you to actually, at a much younger age, get to enjoy the fruit
Yeah.
of the compounding and so on. So those are some of the big mistakes where, well, I'm glad I learned the lessons. I'm glad I can sit here and say that I've learned those lessons from those failures
And
and
you can
mistakes.
now help your grandchildren make the right decisions early on.
Yeah, true, true. And the little bit of influence that I still have over um, people that allow me to share my opinions with them,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully help a few more people not make those same mistakes, or at least get to that realization a little bit sooner.
Yeah.
Can we do one more?
One more. You obviously have
What
one you
keeps you?
want.
No, I'm more interested to hear what you have to say about this. What keeps you humble and grounded?
Wasn't this in a previous question? And I said I'm
I'm
not.
sure. I'm sure it was.
It was number 14.
Oh my word! Yeah, it was.
Um,
Oh yeah, that's right. And you
yeah.
said that
I don't know that I am humble and grounded. I think I have my head in the clouds.
especially now with that fancy
I
new
know.
car. I mean, obviously.
Yep, minimalism
uh,
for who?
yeah. No, you're 100% correct. Though
Yeah,
we did go over that one.
yeah.
Okay, I got nothing more.
Yeah, and we had
I
also
think that.
kind of covered the what would constitute a perfect day for you when we were just
Yeah,
scrolling through the questions. Um,
correct. Yeah,
and a little bit of one of the previous ones that it's going to be something different depending what day
yeah,
it is that you ask me the question.
correct. I mean, we could quickly look at what are your top five values and why are they important, if that is of interest to
Mm,
you.
yeah, we could do that. I haven't thought about it, so I don't have five in mind.
No,
But things that I value are, it's going to sound so like interview question, honesty. I really want people to be honest with me, and I try my best to be as honest as possible with people.
as honest as possible. What
And
does that
try.
even
I
mean?
like the weasel word in there.
Mm,
No, I think I'm honest with people. Think.
Mm.
I'm 99.9% sure. I have to leave a
Yeah,
little bit of room for the moments when I'm not 100%
yeah, yeah, yeah.
honest.
No, of course,
But yeah, I think
of
I'm
course.
honest with
I think
people, and I want people to
it's
be honest with me, even if it's
mm,
not something I want to hear. Yeah.
yeah. It is very difficult to be 100% honest. I I tried. I, I really tried,
Mm-hmm.
and I still aspire to be as honest as possible.
Yeah.
But 100% correct. It could just be timing. It could just be whatever. That yeah, I cannot allow myself to speak the truth now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, anyway, so top five values. It is for me. It's almost like what should be the. I don't know. Sounds a little bit like why do we have things like the Ten Commandments? You
Yeah.
know,
Guiding
so
principles.
yeah, yeah. And there's a gentleman by the name of Doug Casey. Well, you know Doug Casey from the novels. Um, but Doug Casey says that there should only be one law, and that is do as thou wilt,
Yeah. But suffer the
but
consequences.
suffer the consequences.
Yeah.
So, in other words, if as long as there is private property and respect um, for other people's private property, so I try to reduce things to to the simplest possible form. Um, what made me think now about this is well, top five values. I mean, you also couldn't come up
Mm-mm.
with five values. Because it's kind of like silly to say don't steal and don't murder and
Yeah.
don't plunder and yeah, So as an individual, it is quite a tough one. I think it's probably something that I will
Write in your
maybe
journal.
give some thought. Yeah, maybe I'll write a few things down.
I was also just thinking about it, and obviously from a business context, you kind of try to figure out what the company's values are as and as you say, as guiding principles, things that help people to make decisions as an employee of that company. So if I think about what I want to guide me every day, one of them, which is a corporate value at your company, is have fun. I want to find fun in everything that I
Mm.
do. I want to be myself, unapologetically me. That's probably a value.
Yes.
Um, I want to be someone, and this is maybe we brought this up last week and maybe we pissed a few people off, but I do want to be someone that people can rely on and count on as a friend, and if they need something or if they want my support, that they can come to me. So I would like to be a stable friend, someone that people feel comfortable coming to. Um, those are three I can think of off the top of my head.
So I think that the third one is just the consequence of the first two,
Yeah.
or however many values, and then attracting
Yeah, I think you're right.
the
It's the
right people.
definitions again of, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
always a problem
it's
when
the
you're
thing
as a
about that.
company trying to come up with an ethos and values and principles and all those things. Is what is
Oh,
that? And
a whole bunch of bullshit. Whole bunch of bullshit. Um, so I'm glad you got to the unapologetically me pretty quickly there, because I was sitting here waiting. So why is that not the first one? Why is that not your first value? Why is it not unapologetically
well,
you?
because
I
I
think
try to
that
think
that
of what
is,
the things are that make me me.
yeah. So kind of like my personal values is very simply reduced to four words,
Mm-hmm.
and it is written here on my arm. uh, relentlessly non-conforming and inspirationally abundant.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's really nice to have something like that, which it's so easy to remember.
Yeah.
And then obviously knowing the process that I went through to get to those four words, basically two concepts, um, yeah, all of the little things that kind of make up.
Yeah.
So relentlessly non-conforming is challenge the status quo,
Mm-hmm.
ask why about everything, and look at the other angles and the other opinions, etc. And relentlessly non-con. Sorry, the
Inspirational.
inspirationally abundant is, if you want to inspire other people in whatever simple way, that means that you have to at least be a fairly decent human being yourself, and have pretty good values and so on. So, yeah, four simple words and kind of so meaningful that I felt it necessary to write it on my arm. So,
I remember there was an exercise around that you shared with me as well, and I have stumbled on the document somewhere recently in my files, so I know I've got it there, and I would like
okay.
to go back to that because yeah, that's, I remember it being quite a eye opening exercise of figuring out what you
Mm,
what your values are. But I had forgotten
yeah.
about it when this question came up.
Interesting.
Cool.
Fascinating.
Well, next week, challenges and resilience, as if we haven't already been through
Oh,
challenges.
my word.
But
Yeah.
thank you, Herman.
Lovely.
Until next week.
Looking forward to it. Okay.